Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Mobile Home University. My guest for today is out of UK, another UK around the globe. So she is a property investor and helps supported living. Victoria, how do you say your last name? I apologize. Victoria
Eley.
Eley. I was going to guess, and I had that. So how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Very, very good, very good. So Victoria, we have not met in person, but we connected through a lot of the same social media that we are together, same successful platforms. But for those people that don't know you, tell us about you.
So I grew up in London. I moved to Essex, got married, started a family, lived what would everyone would deem the normal kind of ordinary life. Then 3 years ago, we went to a seminar and I found a passion for property. And at the same time, I found a spark inside of me that something inside of me is driven to be extraordinary. So since then, I've been on a quest to house vulnerable people, but also to turn my life from the ordinary to the extraordinary. So that's what I'm aiming to do.
Okay, absolutely. You said you visit education the same way that a lot of us start, but what got you started? What was that initial, I need to do better for myself?
It was actually my husband that signed us up to the property seminar. He'd always had kind of an interest in it, and just kind of learning that that was possible and something that was within my grasp really struck a chord with me. And it was
Mhm.
kind of, we were looking at a franchise at the time, potentially buying into a franchise, and we decided that this could open up a whole new world and get us further than a franchise ever could. And I'm fully aware that some of the seminar stuff is psychological selling, but there was a phrase that fear is temporary and regret lasts forever. And
I've heard
that
that.
really, yeah, that really hit home with me. And I just thought, if we don't do this now, then we're never going to. So we jumped in feet first and became property investors.
There you go. Took action and went with it, went after it. Good to hear. So now, were your family, were they supportive of this?
Yep. Luckily, my parents and my in-laws are very supportive. Obviously, with three young children and investment properties to look at, seminars to go on, it requires extra childcare. So yeah, they've been fantastically supportive.
You said lucky, and I think that's kind of big on this one, lucky, because most times family members, friends, and those loved ones closest to us tend to be the most naysayers, the most negative, and they may mean well, but they don't know. In my case, my family just doesn't understand real estate or what I'm doing. So I guess it's hard for them to be supportive in a sense. But why do you think those closest to us tend to be usually the most negative?
I think it comes from a place of care. I think
Mhm.
it possibly is because they don't understand it. They're fearful of it, which is how we're built. That's how we're hardwired. If we don't understand it, then we're fearful of it. And that's what's kept us safe for millions of years. So I think generally with family, I think it comes from a place of care because they don't want to see us kind of go wrong. They don't want to see us
Fail,
get it wrong
right?
and out. I think sometimes it can come from a place of jealousy. Certainly, I've had a few naysayers around me that I think it comes from a place where they see that we're taking action, that we're making more from our life, and they potentially are jealous of that. So therefore, try to kind of bring you down. But yeah, I think from most family and genuine friends, it will come from a place of looking after us.
Jealousy, I think, definitely is something, a role that plays in within there at one point or another. Surely, I can definitely understand on that point. I've read many times that if you want to be successful, if you want to make more of yourself, your life, you have to break away from everybody around you, really, and just kind of branch out on your own and take that time to dig it out and do it. Would you agree with that?
In theory, yes. I think practically that's probably potentially harder to do. But I do believe that you are what your net worth is your network, and I do believe you will become those who you hang around with. So if you associate yourself with people that are on kind of £20,000 a year, lots of debt, then I think that's kind of where you're going to be. But if you can lift yourself up and if you can associate yourself with people of a higher net worth and with bigger goals, then I think you will naturally grow as a person for that.
Absolutely. We know that coaches and mentors are huge. They play a big role in us being successful and what we take. And you and I, we share the same platforms, the same in that, coaches, JT being one of them. We both
Yeah.
know of them. Would you be where you're at today if it wasn't for your coaches, mentors?
No, definitely not. I would still be kind of scrabbling, kind of looking for a direction. And yeah, I think if you look at anyone that's successful in the world, any pop star, any
Yes.
athlete, anyone that has got to the top of their game, they haven't done it on their own. So I think coaches and mentors are unbelievably important.
Those most successful are the ones that have the most coaches. I agree. And that took me a while when I got started. If I could do it again, the first thing I would do is get a coach or mentor because I spun wheel. I had that mentality, I'll do it myself kind of thing. And it didn't work out. I did okay, but I would have done a lot better. So it's something that I kind of kick myself for not doing it so early on and accepting that you need help. You need guidance. That's all that it is. It's that extra, knowledge from somebody that spin there's done that kind of thing. How do you cope with life challenges as they come?
Probably a pretty good question after the year that we've had. But I think it's just, you have to be a bit kind to yourself, I think. And if it's a challenge, you have to just acknowledge it, discuss it with potentially with your coach, and then look for a solution rather than focus on the problem. But I think, yeah, I think acknowledging that there is an issue, kind of reflecting on how you can best solve it or how you can change directions, kind of go around it. Like I said, discussing it with coaches, with fellow entrepreneurs, that kind of thing, and then just looking for a solution, I think is the best way.
Absolutely. Well said. Yes, ma'am. So, when you think of so many successful people, and I love to read now, I read, and it seems like somewhere in there, a lot of things kind of blend, like it's a culture, if you will, so certain thing. What's one thing that you see most successful people have in common?
I think it is the, like you say, reading, and it's a thirst for knowledge and a thirst for doing everything better. I think people that are highly successful don't ever feel like they know enough. They're always looking to learn something new or to improve on what they already know. So I think there's always that element that they want to get better. They want to learn a new technique, they want to learn a new strategy, a new investment, that kind of thing.
Staying open-minded, that is huge. And it's know it all. I know it all kind of thing. That's a weakness, not a strength. I've heard that many times, and I'm glad that I've always been open. But it's always about always learning something new because you learn something new every day. There's always somebody comes around that has something that you've never heard, or it's just that light bulb that, oh wow, kind of thing. So if you had to start over and do it again, what would you do different, if anything?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I think I probably would have got a coach sooner.
Yes.
That would be the number one. And I, for me, I think it's just having a bit more faith in myself. I'm quite hard on myself and don't always have the self belief that potentially I think I should. Um, but strategy wise, I think I'd follow the path that I've gone. But yeah, get a coach sooner and probably believe in my capabilities a bit more.
Well said. So, Victoria, I'm in mobile home investing at the hidden side of real estate, if you will. I've been investing for over 6 years and going. You also do property investor. Tell us about some of that you do with supportive living.
So for us, our main strategy is supported living or social housing. So that's housing vulnerable members of society.
Mhm.
It's the homeless people, women or men that have fled domestic violence, children that don't fit inside the care system anymore, immigrants, all those kind of people that are in a position where they can't house themselves. So our properties are then rented by either housing associations or local authorities, and then people are placed in our properties through them.
Are any of those mobile homes?
No, they're all brick and mortar houses. I'm not sure with the specifications. I'm not sure we'd be allowed that.
Okay. Well, I understand. And, for a while I used to think, okay, only in America and a little portion of Canada, there's mobile homes. And it comes to, the more podcasts I do, the more people, wonderful people like yourself that I meet, the more I realize there's mobile homes all over the place, all over the world. So it just opens the door for investing. So what is your knowledge on mobile homes?
I don't have a huge amount. It's as a kind of living strategy, I wouldn't say it's huge in the UK. Having said that, I'm in a tiny village. We don't have a school. We don't have anything except a shop and a pub, and about 1,000 houses. So we're pretty small. But there are two, we call them caravan parks. So there are two mobile home parks here. They're both holiday parks, so people can't live in them. I think we have less kind of residential park homes over here than we do in America.
I would assume, yeah, there's definitely here in America, every state, some more than others. We have them. They're everywhere, parks and mobile homes, and eventually land, that sort of thing. But okay, we'll definitely keep talking more to you about mobile homes. Maybe we can bring you on board. That's always a key goal for us. So we have a large connection through the social media and many mutual connections that we have. Why do you think it's so important that we surround ourselves with those like-minded people?
I think kind of what I referred to earlier, I think you become who you surround yourself with. So if, as I said, if you're surrounding yourself with those that are high net worth, business-minded entrepreneurs that want to make an improvement to their lives and to other people's lives, then that is who you will grow and become to. So I think it's learning to always look up. You don't want to be a big fish in a small pond, because that means you're in the wrong pond. You want to continually kind of grow and keep moving.
Absolutely. I've heard it said, if you're in a room and you're the smartest or most successful, you need to get out of the room. So
Yep.
there's no growth for you there. So I would agree with that. What is one of your favorite quotes?
I think my favourite quote of all time is that fear is temporary and regret lasts forever. And that is, I think, is the best for me, because fear is that thought of taking the action,
Mhm.
and that could potentially stop you from taking that first step. But then the regret that you would live with from not taking that one step will last you a lifetime. So yeah, just go for it.
I agree. Take action. Go after it. Worst thing can happen is you fail and you just try again. So I mean, that's the beauty of it. You learn something even from failures. We need failures more than we need wins. Those are where we really teach each other and learn from. So, what is one of your biggest goals you have for 2021?
For 2021, it's to run a marathon.
Okay.
So back in January 2019, I spent 8 days in hospital with two slip discs that I've had for a while, but became a recurring problem. I had some injections in my spine. I had my sciatic nerve electrically denervated, so my sciatic nerve doesn't work anymore in my legs.
Wow.
Literally walking was an issue, sitting down was an issue. So I built up gradually. I started with the exercises from the physio. I did the Couch to 5K app, and then it popped up, try 10K. So, okay, so I tried a 10K. Then I ran a half marathon last year, raising some money for various charities. And this year's goal is to run a marathon and raise some more money for charity. And then next year it will be to run an ultra marathon.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely keep us updated. I'm sure you'll put it on your social media. So I can't wait to see that. That's huge, though. Good for you, and a big step going through that. Wow. Um, Victoria, for those who wants to connect with you, how can they find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm Victoria Eley. That's Eley, for those that can't say it or spell it, as many people can't. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. We've got a website, sbnpropertygroup.co.uk. I'll give you the link if that's okay. And yeah, reach out, contact me, and it'd be great to talk to anyone.
Absolutely. And we always attach the links that you just mentioned on the bottom of these videos. So for those that are tuning in and want to connect with Victoria here, just click on that link and you'll be sure to be directed to her. So any last encouraging words for those tuning in?
I think just do it. Just, if there's something that you want to do, set yourself the goal and go for it.
Beautiful. I like it. Okay. Well, Victoria, it has been a pleasure having you on here. Thank you for joining us from the other side of the world. And we will be sharing this video with you. Thank you.
Thanks very much for having me on, Jose.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.